Hi, my name is Stevie Miller. I'm the Director of Student Services in the College of Arts and Sciences at Ohio University. I'm happy today to be here with you to talk about requirements at the university and in the College of Arts and Sciences. So we have three separate requirements. First, university requirements. These are required of every student at Ohio University, regardless of what your major is and regardless of what college you are in. We have college requirements in the College of Arts and Sciences. We'll talk about those. All students in the College of Arts and Sciences, regardless of the student's major, are required to complete the college requirements. And then finally, we have major requirements, which are specific to each student's major. We'll talk about these, all three of these, but for the major requirements, we'll talk about them just very briefly, very vaguely, requirements as far as things that are required of all students with their major. So first and foremost, with the university requirements, all students are required to earn 120 hours to be able to graduate. That breaks down to about 15 credit hours per semester. You have 15 credit hours per semester times 2 semesters a year is 30, and 30 times 4 years is 120. So when we recommend that students be at 15 credit hours per semester, this is the reason why. 15 credit hours breaks down to about 5 classes, potentially 4 depending on, how many the credit hours and things like that. Most of our classes are 3 credit hours, but we do have some that are 4 credit hours. So you may end up taking less classes if you have multiple classes that are 4 credit hours. All students are required to earn a 2.0 GPA, a cumulative GPA, and this includes all coursework at Ohio University. The 2.0 GPA is a C average GPA. For our general education course requirements, they're separated into 3 tiers, what we call tiers. Tier 1, the Tier 1 requirement is your math and English requirements. So for the Tier 1, we have a first year English composition course that's required of all students, a junior composition course, and then a quantitative skills course. This is a math course. For students and their math courses, we recommend courses based on placements, which we'll talk about placements in another video. But we also recommend certain math courses depending on the student's major as well. For the Tier 2 requirements, so this is what makes up the liberal arts degree. It's one course from each of these 6 areas: the applied science and math, cross-cultural perspectives, fine arts, humanities and literature, natural sciences, and social sciences. And then finally, the last of the general education course requirements is a Tier 3 requirement. It is the senior seminar course, which is not required for students until their senior year. So we won't spend a lot of time today talking about it, but it does encompass all of the educational experiences that students have had at Ohio University. For the College of Arts and Sciences requirements, so first and foremost, we have a level requirement. It's where students have to complete 60 hours of arts and sciences coursework at the 2000 level or higher. What this means is that students, all students are required to earn 120 hours to be able to graduate. Half of the courses that you have to complete to earn your degree need to be in arts and sciences coursework at the 2000 level or higher. All of students' major classes count in this area as long as it's 2000 level or higher. And so I think that this number can be a little intimidating to students, but many students end up completing most of this requirement without realizing it. And what it means for students is that we just want you to have in-depth knowledge on material. We don't want you to take a ton of intro classes or physical activity classes like bowling and basketball in order to complete your 120 hours. We do want you to get in depth with certain material. And so we do have the level requirement for that reason. We do have a foreign language requirement in the College of Arts and Sciences. For those students earning a Bachelor of Arts, it's 2 years or up to our 2120 level. And for those earning a Bachelor of Science, it's 1 year or up to our 1120 level. The reason why we phrase it that way is because if students have had 5 years of Spanish, let's say in high school, or high school and middle school, the likelihood of them doing fairly well on a placement exam is pretty high, or at least I would hope so. And so if students test higher into the language requirements, so they're not testing at the intro level, but they may be testing at the intermediate level. For example, the requirement may only be then 1 or 2 classes to fulfill the 120. But for those starting with the intro class, it is a full 2 years or 4 semesters for a Bachelor of Arts, or a full 1 year or 2 semesters for a Bachelor of Science. In a previous video, I talked about the biggest difference between the Bachelor of Arts and the Bachelor of Science degrees that we award in the College of Arts and Sciences, and this is where the requirements differ between them. Just in case you did not watch that video, the Bachelor of Arts is more language and arts focused. The Bachelor of Science is more math and science focused. Some of our departments offer both, and so we encourage students to think about your strengths as an academic and strengths and interests. The final College of Arts and Sciences requirement is a liberal arts distribution requirement. This is where students need to complete 9 hours in each of the 3 areas that make up the College of Arts and Sciences, which are humanities, social sciences, and natural sciences. There are a couple of things I encourage students to think about when it comes to the liberal arts distribution requirement. So first and foremost, you could target specific all classes for one of these areas into one discipline. So for example, if you have 9 credit hours that's required of you to fulfill the social sciences. So if you did 9 hours of psychology coursework, that's about 3 classes. You could take, I think it's 3 more classes, and you will have earned a psychology minor. Right? Same with humanities. If you did all English courses to fulfill the humanities requirement, or all classics or more religions or philosophy, you could be very close to earning a minor within those disciplines. So you can think strategically in that way. This is also one area where a lot of double dipping happens. So what that means is one course can count towards multiple requirements. And so you may need courses to fulfill a history minor or a philosophy minor. And so it can count both in the humanities and towards minor requirements as well. So this is one area where students can be strategic, and again, making their degree flexible to add those additional programs. Kind of thinking a little bit more deeper about the foreign language requirement. We do offer 19 different languages at Ohio University. So lots of different options. The ones that you see on your screen here are ones that we offered this past fall semester. I encourage students to think about the foreign language requirement in a couple of different ways. I encourage students to think about it as an opportunity. It can be an opportunity for a couple of different things. So have you always wanted to study abroad? Where have you wanted to go? Why don't you take that language and then finish the foreign language requirement abroad? So for example, German or Italian. Why don't you complete German or Italian as your language, and then you could finish the foreign language requirement abroad in a study abroad experience in Italy or Germany. I also encourage students to think about what are your future career goals. Because the foreign language requirement can help you with future career goals. Do you hope to work for the government? Russian may be a great option for you to choose as your foreign language requirement. Do you know that you want to go to Africa and work on water resources and sustainability? Then one of our African languages may be a good option, Swahili or Wolof. So thinking about how the foreign language requirement can benefit you. Because what we see is that students who have more advanced language skills are much more marketable to future employers. And so this can really be an opportunity for you to think about how it can benefit you or what you can get from the foreign language requirement. And so that's exactly how we encourage students to think about it. Now, certainly if you have always taken Spanish and you want to continue Spanish, that's perfectly okay. But we do encourage students to kind of think outside of the box and to think about, study abroad goals or future career goals when they're thinking about what they want to do for their foreign language requirement. So I want to talk to you about Maddie Nielsen. Maddie graduated last spring semester. She was an orientation leader for the College of Arts and Sciences for many years. She was absolutely wonderful, and we're very sorry not to have her anymore. But she was a history major, and she was an excellent example of someone who decided to start a new language because just, hey, why not? She had an interest in trying something new. And so she decided to take Italian as her foreign language to fulfill her foreign language requirement. It was something where she fell in love with the language, with the faculty who teach in Italian, and so she decided to add on an Italian studies certificate. She completed a study abroad experience to not only fulfill the foreign language requirement, but to also complete some of the courses for the Italian studies certificate. Kind of going back to some of that double dipping that happens for students. So Maddie's Italian, the language that she took for Italian also counts towards the European Studies certificate. And some of her history courses also counted to the European Studies certificate. And then she started taking some other art classes related to Italian studies, which got her into her art history minor. And then she discovered an interest in museum studies after that. And she's now completing her master's in museum studies at Syracuse University. Maddie completed all of these programs in addition to her major in 4 years just by that double dipping. So whenever I talk about the flexibility that majors in the College of Arts and Sciences have, this is what I'm talking about. And we encourage students to start this exploration early, so then that way they have time to complete all of the programs like Maddie. With the major requirements, and again, we'll talk about these just very broadly and vaguely. But for the major requirements, all students are required to earn a 2.0 GPA within their major courses. Again, that's a C average. Some of our majors have hours requirements. So for example, our psychology major requires 35 hours, sociology requires 30, English requires 42. So our majors, most of them do have a certain number of hours you have to complete. All of our majors have a residency requirement where 50% of your major courses have to be completed at Ohio University to earn your degree from here. Some of our majors have extra departmental course requirements. And what this means is it's required for the major, but it's courses outside of the department. So for example, in biology, all biology majors have to complete general chemistry. They have to complete a math depending on which major it is. For some, it's pre-calculus. For some, it's calculus. Some of the majors require organic chemistry. All of them require physics. So these are courses that are required by the biology major, but that are not biology courses. For example, another example, our sociology department requires statistics. So this is an extra departmental course requirement that students take outside of the sociology department. And then finally, for grade requirements, for some of our majors, students are required to earn a certain grade to have it to count. So in our Department of Modern Languages, all students are required to earn a C in all of their courses. They want to show proficiency within their course materials. Also, for some of the core courses, like in our Department of Sociology, their core courses, all students are required to earn a C or better. And then this is also true for sequential courses. So the language courses, for example, to be able to move on to the next class, you have to show proficiency. So for some courses, you do need to earn certain grades in order to move on to the next class. So it's something to just keep in mind as you're thinking about major requirements. I'm happy to answer any questions related to the requirements or any other questions you may have. My contact information is on the screen, my email and direct telephone number. So please do not hesitate to get in touch with me if I can answer any questions at all. Thank you so much, and hope to hear from you.